All right, let's dive into a fascinating economic puzzle. Imagine a country just buzzing with potential, but it's losing out on millions and millions of dollars. And the reason why? Well, it might surprise you. It's because it's missing a specific type of building. It sounds almost too simple, but the impact is absolutely huge.
I mean, that's the big question here, isn't it? How can just not having a few buildings cost an entire country a fortune? Well, the country we're talking about is Ghana, and this gap in its infrastructure is creating a massive, massive missed opportunity. And look, this isn't some small niche problem we're talking about. It's a major drag on the whole country's development. Because these aren't just empty halls. They're magnets for business, for innovation, and for tourism that can bring in global attention. And you guessed it, a ton of investment.
So to really get a grip on this gap, we first got to look at what Ghana is already working with. What places are actually available right now for big events?
Now, it's not like Ghana is starting from absolute zero. You've got established places like the Accra Conference Center and the National Theater, plus some newer spots for tech events, and a pretty big hall in Kumasi that can hold 7,000 people. But here's the catch. While they're all great, none of them are really set up for the kind of giant international conventions that can completely change an economy.
And you know, what's really frustrating is that there was a plan to fix all of this, a huge, ambitious redevelopment of the Ghana Trade Fair site that was supposed to be a total game changer. $3 billion. Just let that number sink in for a second. That was the size of the planned investment. This wasn't just a simple upgrade. This was a vision to build a truly world-class facility and put Ghana right on the global events map.
But that vision? Yeah, it's pretty much stuck in neutral. The project blew right past its 2022 completion date, and today, there's no new timeline in sight. That $3 billion potential is just sitting there, completely untapped. So what does this missed opportunity actually cost in real money? Well, to see the potential, all we have to do is look at a nearby country that got this right. It turns out there's a really clear blueprint for success.
To understand this, we need to talk about the MICE sector. Sounds a little funny, I know, but it's a huge deal. It's an industry acronym for meetings, incentives, conferences, and exhibitions. And this is the super valuable slice of the tourism pie that Ghana is almost completely missing out on.
And the cost of just waiting around is staggering. In 2023 alone, Rwanda's MICE sector raked in $95 million. Ghana's earnings? So small they barely even register on the chart. This isn't just some theory. This is real cash being made right next door.
And the engine behind all of Rwanda's success? That's no big secret. It's their incredible state-of-the-art Kigali Convention Center. This just proves that if you make the right investment, this market isn't just within reach, it's incredibly profitable. The model works. Now, that $95 million is an impressive number for sure. But believe it or not, that's really just the beginning of the story. The real power of these convention centers is the economic ripple effect that spreads through the entire community.
Let me just walk you through how this works. It all starts when a big international event comes to town. Thousands of attendees, they're called delegates, they all fly in, and they immediately start spending money on hotels, in restaurants, on taxis. This huge surge in spending creates jobs, and not just at the event center. We're talking hospitality, retail, logistics, you name it. And finally, all that economic activity generates tax revenue, which then gets reinvested into public services for everybody. It's a beautiful cycle.
And here is a really key insight. These visitors are not your average tourists. These folks are often on business trips, with company expense accounts. And that means they spend way more money pumping high-value cash directly into the local economy.
And this isn't just an African success story. You see this same dramatic impact all over the globe. To really help you grasp the scale of this, let's look at some hard numbers from just one mid-sized convention center in the US.
In a single year, one convention center in California attracted 315,000 visitors just for its events. 315,000 people. Just think about that kind of influx into one city.
And the result of all those visitors? Well, they generated $45 million in local spending. That's over $45 million going directly to local businesses, supporting local jobs and local families. So, here's where it all comes full circle. The money from event fees, from taxes, and all that delegate spending, it doesn't just vanish.
It gets funneled right back into the community, paying for the very things that make life better for everyone. Better schools, beautiful public parks, new roads, and even affordable housing.
So, when you put all of these pieces together, it becomes incredibly clear, right? We are not just talking about putting up a building. This is about making a strategic investment in the future of an entire country.
At the end of the day, these convention centers are so much more than just buildings. They're economic engines. And for a country like Ghana, where youth unemployment is a serious challenge, creating this whole new ecosystem of jobs in hospitality, logistics, and event management could be absolutely transformative. This is how you build a foundation for real, long-term growth. Which leaves us with one final and pretty critical question. The blueprint for success is right there. The potential is massive. The cost of doing nothing is crystal clear. So what is it going to take for Ghana to finally restart that project, make the investment, and unlock its missing millions?